Hey everybody, this is Kathleen with Windy Chaos, and I'm here today to tell you about the latest kit. I'm showing this in Zoom notes because I want to be able to switch over and show you some mock-ups really easy. But this kit comes in with a Zoom notes file, a Noteful file, and a Good Notes file. So if you're in Apple, all of those work really well, but it also comes with a PNG folder where everything is labeled and kind of organized for you if you're in, say, Android or a different type of tablet that isn't Apple. So let's jump into this. This is a sweet kind of anytime kit, but I'm looking at it as a summer kit, and it's called Farm Sweet Farm. I live in Ohio, which is a very agricultural place. We always joke that our high school was in the middle of cornfields and stuff, which they knocked it down like 2 years ago, and I'm still not over it, even though it was a terrible building and totally deserved to be knocked down. But anyhow, so let's jump into this. The first page is just a little intro page where you get some information about what Windy Chaos is, but it also has some links to the shop, to the YouTube channel, and to the Facebook group. But you also get to find out what fonts were used in the kit, and at the bottom of each page you get these hex codes to see what colors were used. This one has kind of that primary color vibe to it, but you can definitely, when we get into some of the blocks, you can see how, gosh, you can just do so many different moods with it. So let's see. Here we have the deco dates, as I call them. We've got these cute little barns, and then we have the little dots that are in this green with a this is just a great number set for like any time. I just duplicated that page. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. And then we have 3 other number sets. This one is so cute. I just love it. Let me jump in here. It's clear, so those lines are not backed by white. Anyway, I just think it's really fun. I can totally see this being really fun for like October too, kind of Halloween-y. And then we've got a blue, and it's got a transparency to it, and the same thing with the red. They are transparent. So I think that's kind of a fun thing for layering things up. And then we have the days of the week plus weekend in arches. And then we've got what I call the time bits at the bottom there for just plugging those in for your appointments. And then we have the days of the week in some abbreviations, if you don't want to, write them all the way out, have them written all the way out. So you've got just the capital numeral. It's not a numeral, the capital letter type thing going on, and then just like a really short abbreviation, but you also have these really fun circles. And this is a very nice neutral font here that can be used over and over again, without, I don't know, it just looks really good. There we go. And then we have the months, and I love these on this kind of enamel sign that's all antique-y and just super cute. And as you can see, if you zoom in close, like the letters aren't just like laying on it. They look like they were kind of like punched in, like an old-timey sign would be. And then we've got a pretty script, and the script has a little bit of an outline around it so that it kind of will pop off of a plain background a little bit. And then here we go with the deco, the clip art. And oh my gosh, I just love this. It just makes me feel so calm and one with nature. So here you kind of have this grouping here. You've got the farm, you've got daisies, and then the chickens. And I just kind of grouped them together because I thought they looked kind of sweet together. Then farm fresh eggs. This daisy is separate. And you've got several ways of having the daisies in the jars, standalone or just the daisy's head. And then we've got eggs, silo, hay, and truck. These are all separate here. And then we've got the hay bale with that's rolled into the circle. And then here we have, this one's kind of cool. So you've got the fence with the background, and then you've also got the fence by itself. So those are layered together. Oh, sorry. I moved the shape, and there we go. And then we've got this is together where you've got the grass and the clothesline with the quilts on it. And you've got the barn boots and these sweet little animals. I love Jersey cows. They are my favorite. See how cute that is together. Oh my goodness. And if you sent that back or cropped the grass. Plus I have this grass separate. So you could put the grass in front of it too if you wanted. Anyway, there's just a lot of fun things you can do. And then we've got this field here with just the furrowed rows within it. So there we go. And then we've got this beautiful corn background. I love how this turned out. And there is a faint background to it. I played with the opacity so that the whole thing isn't one opacity. So you'll see how that turned out. Well, yeah, you'll see how that turned out on one of the mock-ups, but I love it. And then we've got the windmill for the water pump and a tractor, and then one of these signs that is blank, and just a little rope bow, a jelly cupboard, and some lemonade, just a sweet little lamp sitting on the cupboard. And then on this table and around it, we kind of have everything, all sorts of garden, farm, produce. And then these are the grasses that I was telling you that I kind of cut them away from the quilts. So there's two of them because I have two quilt lines in here because I can never have too many quilts. So there you go. And then here's the other quilt. And then we've got a milk can. And then we've got just some cute little sayings. Farmers work in acres, not hours. Life is better with chickens around. Heroes wear barn boots. Farm hair don't care. And crazy chicken lady. And I kind of played with, making them kind of look like a puffy sticker. So they have just a little bit of a shine to them to make them kind of cute. All right. And then we've got another horse and just a water bottle and this pretty porch. Okay. So that is 4 pages of clip art. Okay. What if let's go to this page. Okay, Zoom Notes is catching up with me here. That was funny. All right, and then we've got this page that are all these really fun labels. And so you've got, they have kind of a frame around them that casts a shadow, which makes it kind of nice. And then the circle and flags. And then you've got kind of these file cards or recipe cards. a label with a heading, or this ribbon label is what I'm calling that. And then these little scallopy guys, they look kind of like a postage stamp. And then you get a large and a small in 4 different patterns that are pretty too. Okay, and then let's go here. We've got shapes. These are great for widgets, or to write lists on, however you like to do it. And then you get a group of them here at the bottom that have the deco masked in it. So I think those turned out very pretty. And these also, if you're into Dutch doors, they make great little Dutch doors as well. And then we've got what I call the planner bits section. And these are just little fun things that you can add in that make it really enjoyable. And so we've got the little corners and a little corner banner. I keep meaning to start using those more in my planning, but I don't. And then we've got these little gift tags with these little ribbon tags that are fun. You can kind of size them down and make them fit exactly, and they look really cute. You can even layer them up with with a pattern one, make them big and fluffy. So, and then we've got the photo frames, and then you've got 4 little photo captions that are pre-made. Rise and shine, plucky cluckers. Farm life is the best life. Chickens make me happy. Green Acres is the place for me. Then we've got these cute little number scales that you can use for whatever you want. Rating your productivity, your mood, your pain, rate your day. Put whatever you like on there, but on a scale of 1 to 10, you can kind of give yourself a grade. And then we've got these cute little envelopes here. Those are great for the little gift cards. You can kind of pretend tuck them behind each other. This one's solid, but this one here is, as you can see, has some transparency to it. And then a little book plate, because I do love a book plate. And there we go. And then we've got the washi, which is, we've got it in a wide, a narrow, and then the really skinny solid colors, which is really fun to put together. And then we've got planner words. I always do 4 that kind of go with the theme. So we've got count the blessings, tend the garden, love on the animals, and scoop the poop. And then these planner words that are on an arch are really fun too. And then we have the Dutch doors, which are super fun to play with. They just kind of make things interesting, especially if you want to cover half your page or hide things that are confidential or sensitive in nature. But I think these just turned out really, really cute. So this one's kind of got this burlap with this rope and tin stars and the corn. And then we've got these cute chickens and the milk can. Then this weathered wood is lovely, and it's got kind of like an art that you can see here when I put it on something dark. It's got a kind of a lacy effect. And then these guys have that kind of an eyelet effect on the edge. And if you're using Zoom Notes, I did a video a while back on how to make Dutch doors look really good. And it's so much fun. But you do double your pages, so just be mindful of that. And then these are called waterfalls because it gives you the appearance of having multiple pages that are stacked. But really it's just one image. So almost like you have a bunch of dividers that are just cute patterned paper. But again, it kind of lets you cover up part of your page, especially if you're having one of those days where it's like, there's not a lot on the agenda, and you just want a really quick page. You can cover half of it with one of these, and it's super fast. Okay, then we've got the patterns. We've got this cute chicken wire, some daisies. This one, this floral, I think is really fun. It totally reminds me of like a 1950s-ish type tablecloth. I just think it's very pretty. And then this quilt pattern is got kind of that burlap feel to it, and it is opaque, so it definitely has some really fun potential for layering things up and just making them really interesting. And you get that in a square, and then in kind of a portrait, and then in a landscape. Now, they're not perfectly proportioned to fit all portrait pages or all landscape pages, because depending on who made your planner, those proportions are a little off. So, but it gets you in that first kind of orientation, and then you're going to have a little dragging and stretching, but hopefully it doesn't skew it too much and you don't have to do too much cropping. So there we go. And then these are the textures. So it's the patterns done again, but in a way that allows you to, they're just really pretty. Just gives you a little bit of texture, an interest in the background without being as distracting or overpowering as something with a lot of color. So there's no background to them. They are, so you could put those two together and they'd be really sweet too. And they have no color and they have no background, so they're really, now this one has a little more, but still just really subtle. I will probably be using this one a lot because I do love quilts and I just love a quilt pattern. So anyway, moving on. We have our layout shapes here, and like I was telling you before, these shapes, when you get into the time block stuff, not block, but you know what I mean, the page layouts that are just blocks of color and stuff, color blocking, you could go in so many different ways with this. Like anything with the orange, I think will be so great in the fall, but it's also so bright and cheery for the summer and the spring. And then the blue things just had that calm, cooling effect and would be super for, say, a beachy vibe if you had a beach scene that you wanted to do with these. And what I love to do, you'll see when we get into the mock-up, is put this on your page, but then take the transparency, the opacity down. And it just is really pretty. It still sections things off for you, but you get to have things in the background that are still really pretty. So you get them in a 4 portrait, 4 landscape, and 4 strips. And then we get into the other shapes that are really fun as well. We've got the bars and circles together, and then circles. And these are side by side because this is 7 that are all together, but this is 4 and 3 that are separate. So it makes it easy if you wanted to split them up across the page and stuff without having to do a lot of cropping, because like these are so close that you couldn't really crop it without still having some of that showing. So this lets you kind of create whatever gap you want. And now let's see. We also have it in the arches. Same thing here. This is one shape, but these are separate. Hexagons, same thing. Shingles, which are basically the arches flipped and then pushed together. And then we've got the squares. So I think these turned out really cute. I love just that little pop of color, that everything isn't exactly the same, but it still looks really, really nice. And then I try to do a planner shape for each kit that matches kind of the vibe of that kit. And so these little barns, I think, turned out really cute. And you've got 2 here that have like a bandana background to them and 2 that have wood backgrounds. So you can use those in a daily, and you can make a page where you had 7 of them for a weekly, however works for you. So let's jump into some of the mock-ups that I created. Here is the first one. So this one I used that really pretty corn background, and then I just topped one of those color blocks on top of that. I took down the opacity a little bit so that you could still see the corn behind it. And then I used that fence without a background to just put it here. Used the planner words around to kind of just use it up. And I think this just turned out really, really pretty. And I mean, gosh, it makes me think summer, for real. Summer is when that corn is still green and it grows so fast, and so pretty. Okay, oops. We're not turning the page. We're going to another planner. By the way, this is in the Planning to Prosper planner. This is the one that I'm using this year. I really enjoy it. It's great. This is the Breezy Organization Portrait Planner. And I used the little arches on this one, and I think that turned out really cute. I actually ended up flipping it so that the orange fell on Saturday, and because otherwise it was going to be on Friday, and Saturday is just always way more fun than Friday is. I used the little porch. I used the daisy background. I took down the opacity on the porch. I think I may have even taken down the opacity. I did. Under layers, I popped those in, each one on their own layer, and then just played with the opacity till it was where I liked it. And then on the last layer, I put in all these other things and kept them at full strength, 100% opaque. So there we go. And I keep just turning the page. And the last one I've got to show you is from the Shelley planner, the rings. And is this not the cutest thing? I love it. So with this one, I did one of the landscape backgrounds and then put the barn on there. Now I did a little bit where I kind of erased some of what was here so that I could have the silo and not have so much of the silo covered up. So again, that's a Zoom Notes thing. So I know a lot of people right now are super excited about Noteful, and I'm so glad that people are moving away from GoodNotes, because as good as it is, there's a lot of things that it can't do. But I'm also frustrated because I want them to all come to Zoom Notes because it does so much more than Noteful can. So hopefully as people get super comfortable with Noteful, they'll eventually be like, okay, I'm ready to graduate over to Zoom Notes, because I jokingly say that if Zoom Notes and GoodNotes had a baby, it would be Noteful. So anyhow, Noteful's great, and I'm glad to see folks have the ability to use layers and opacity with ease. There's just a few more things that make Zoom Notes so much better. Like if I were to go in and make this a true Dutch door, that would be really fun. I didn't on this one, and you know what? I didn't even, I didn't even put this on its own layer, which is what I should have done. But if you had it on its own layer, then you can just turn it on and off. And again, take a look at the video I did just a while back about Dutch doors and zoom notes, and you'll be amazed because they do handle them really well. But this is just my idea of farm life. I'm a town kid, so I have a very romanticized idea of farm life. But I think this is kind of one of those great kits that can just work in when you're tired of doing a certain like color palette for a season. You know how it can get, it's like, oh, I've done so many pastels because it's Easter, or I've done all the pinks and reds because it was Valentine's, or, you know, all the oranges and russets because it's fall. This one just kind of comes in and it lets you have all the primary colors and just, I don't know, like a refresher, just a nice little visual break. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy this kit over at Windy Chaos on Etsy. Take care.